that we have, and they list them, and usually the economy is number one. To me, the number one thing that I get spoken to by the people, and I meet so many people, is crime. I mean, they can't believe it. They can't walk out of their apartments and buy a loaf of bread without getting mugged or rapped or shot. You look at Chicago, it's not even believable.
So there are crimes that's happening. I got this here. There's 2 injured in early Raleigh shootings.
To breaking news in Raleigh now, where police are investigating a shooting near several local businesses on Western Boulevard. Investigators taped off the parking lots for both the Wendy's and McDonald's. Police have confirmed that at least one man was shot and taken to the hospital with serious injury.
So crimes are happening, but I'm not so sure that...
They had actually, the numbers I read to you were very minor compared to about 2 months ago, where they had 117 people shot and 17 dead in one weekend. Think of it, 117 people were shot and 17 died, and the fake news doesn't talk about it very much.
Well, that feedback is pretty terrible. It's hard to listen to him in general with the feedback, but it seems incredible that Mr. 34 Felonies is going to be on the thin blue line, and then Kamala the cop is on the side of defund the police, where she wants to reimagine policing. So neither one is talking about abolishing police. Both of them support the police to some degree. He is acting like the police could do no wrong. He is acting like the thin blue line. The police could do no wrong. There's a lot of problems with that, because you have 34 felonies. But if you can have a million, a bunch of lawyers, then you get away with your damn felonies. Well, that's some bullshit. So basically, more police on the ground, so more poor people go to jail. Keep fattening up our prison system. We don't have any damn money for, food or school or hospitals. But we got all the money in the world to house people and feed people when they're in jail. China laughs at us when we talk about human rights all over the world. Well, they say, well, look at how many people you got in prison. And they also say, look at what you're doing to Palestine. So the contradictions is ridiculous. When it comes to Mr. 34 Felonies is saying that we need, the police could do no wrong. Well, if the police could do no wrong, you've been indicted. You've been indicted, and the maximum of that case was 136 years. So you've been indicted. And if the police and the courts can do no wrong, well, then you should be in jail for 136 years. So he didn't have a come to God moment. He's not talking about reforming the police. There was the First Step Act, which was criminal justice reform for the federal government. It was a whole bunch of different things. It wasn't crystal clear to me what it was about, but there was some sort of reform. And
we take back our country, and we will take back our country very soon, for the law-abiding citizens of America, because this is about the law-abiding citizens, not the criminals. They're protecting the criminals and not protecting the law-abiding citizens. We can't.
Yeah, like you son of a bitch. They're protecting people like you. They're protecting people like you. 34 felonies. Did you do the hush money case? You did, didn't you? That means you did a bunch of documents, a bunch of business documents, and a bunch of government documents, which you lied on. Those are felonies. That's 34 felonies. If he doesn't serve 1 day in jail, which it doesn't look like he's even sentencing is postponed for another couple months, so he's not going to serve 1 day in jail for 34 felonies. The word felony doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't even mean anything. He was talking about running off to Venezuela with Elon Musk.
Can't let that happen. With your help, we will restore public safety to our streets. We will bring back law and order to our nation. And we will give the heroes in blue the power to legally protect us and the respect that you deserve more than any other group of people. What you have to go through, and then you don't get the backup at all. You're going to have the backup like you never had it before. Well, you had it 4 years ago, but even more so now, because they've let it get so out of control. I mean, the only thing good about this period of time, we did great in 2016. We did much better in 2020, I hate to tell you.
Well, you got the classified documents case. You got 34 felonies, and then you got January 6th. January 6th breaks Amendment 14. Section 3, Amendment 14 says that no person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector or president, vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof, but Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such a disability. So, was January 6th a riot? Okay, well then he should be in jail for instigating a riot. Was it an insurrection? That means he can't be in government anymore. He is barred from being in government if that was an insurrection, which that's what he was saying. They were sitting there saying, hang Mike Pence. They were coming after Pelosi. All the Congress people are hiding under their desk. He did that. Come on, let's everybody march on Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol, and let's, show them that we're here. So he's not going to stand up for his own damn thing. He's going to walk away from the White House, but he's going to get all these other people into his bullshit stop the steal, which he knows he lost by a whisker. He lost by a whisker. So Mr. 34 felonies, Mr. January 6th riot or insurrection, and then the classified documents case, which, I don't know how much I care about that, but they're crimes. And so he's sitting there saying we need to get back to law and order. Mr. Criminal, Mr. Felon, Mr. Insurrectionist is talking about getting back to law and order. Who the hell's believing any of this shit?
Yeah, we did much better. Got millions more votes. I was told if you got the same number of votes, you can't lose. We got millions more votes than we got.
Oh, I'm sure.
Spending bill I signed, I will make a record investment in hiring, retention, and training for police officers. It's so important. It's powerful.
Okay, so he was sitting there talking about Chicago being terrible. I just saw a video of where you got Chicago, and you had the guy was slashing tires. You had a police officer who was going around slashing a young 20-something Puerto Rican's tires of his little ATV. Oh, okay, so you're going to slash the tire. That's what we need. We need cops going around slashing tires. What else you doing? You busting out kneecaps? What else you doing? Some other mafia shit? The cops are supposed to set the example. And he did get some consequences. He got a misdemeanor charge for that, and he got demoted, but he didn't get fired. And he didn't get a felony charge for it. What the fuck? This shit we don't need more Chicago police like that. We need a fair system. We need a fair system that upholds civil liberties. Kamala Harris isn't for abolishing the police. She says we should reimagine the police. We want good police, so we don't want excessive violence. We don't want racial profiling, and we don't want a shredding of our civil liberties. We have a constitution for a reason. We're going to throw out classical liberalism. Our country is bursting at the seams. Don't we have the rights and freedoms that are listed in the U.S. Constitution or not? And so, where's he talking about that? He's not talking about reimagining police, and he's talking about upping fascism. Get them more bombs, more guns, more people on the, with the uniform and badge. That's the solution. Not to make sure that we have like constitutional cops, not to make sure that the court system and the police system, they're supposed to go after the criminals, but what if they don't? We're just supposed to not defend ourselves? If the courts and the cops don't go after the criminals, then we'll have to defend ourselves. But if the cops are corrupt and they point the finger at the victim like Akira Fletcher defended herself. Akira Fletcher defended herself, and she's sitting in jail right now. You had Earl out of Verona who shot and killed one guy, and then he was aiming to shoot the other guy. Basically beckoned them into the house. Beckoned them into the house. Shoots one, doesn't shoot the other, tried to shoot the other. Cops don't even arrest him. Why? He was defending himself. But why is it Akira Fletcher who was defending herself with the person who was slashing her tires and throwing a rock at her and attacking her? Why is she sitting in jail? There's no consistency to this shit. The courts are fucking over the poor and the ignorant, and it's bullshit. We need court reform, we need police reform, and we do need to reimagine police. And Kamala is right. We don't need excessive force. We don't need racial profiling, and we don't need cops who are breaking constitutional rights. If anything, cops should point out our constitutional rights, because our constitutional rights are those things that we're allowed to do. Don't rape, don't murder, don't steal, don't assault, but you can petition. You are allowed to protest. You are allowed to demonstrate. You're allowed to go to the press. You're allowed to peacefully assemble.
And you remember when I was president, I gave you billions of dollars worth of military equipment that was unused. It was in the storage rooms. We talked about it. It was in the storage rooms. We talked about it. Remember that a few years ago? Yeah.
You militarize the police. You're giving them a bunch of military equipment. So we're the Afghanistan, we're the Iraqi people, we're the Palestinians. He went ahead and bombed Syria. Are we the Syrians? And he bombed Yemen and Somalia. Are we the Somalis and the Yemeni people? I mean, I like that the military defends us and they're over there. they never would attack us. So to give them military equipment, are we under occupation? Is this the standing army that we were trying to get away from? He dropped the mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. There's a Palestinian genocide, but he also freed 5,000 Taliban. And then he annexed the Golan Heights, so the genocide in Palestine is totally his fault. So Elijah McClain is going to get killed for just walking down the street. Christian Glass is going to get killed because he wouldn't get out of the car. Tyree Nichols is going to get killed. And that federal court case is going on right now. That federal court case is going on right now. They killed that black man in Memphis, Tennessee, I heard, because he was sleeping with one of the officers' wives.
And I made it available to the police. I took such heat. They said, it looks too powerful. It looks police-like. I said, isn't that a good thing? I mean, that's a good thing. But I gave you billions of dollars. It was sitting there drawing dust, billions and billions. It had storage houses all over the country, big storage houses of trucks, and a lot of it was defensive material, too, and defensive Jeeps with armor plates all over them and a lot of great stuff. And I gave it all out to the police. Took a lot of heat. I thought it would be a popular thing, and you can keep it down. Just
yeah. To militarize the police, we want the police are our domestic. Those are our friends. Those are our neighbors. Those are our peers. You're going to give them military grade equipment as if what? The people of America is just a bunch of damn savage animals, and we just need to be. The Blackwater was just going through the streets, just randomly shooting people. Is that what you're going for? You just want cops just to drive down through the streets and just randomly shoot at people?
By watching, because believe it or not, they're afraid of that badge. They're afraid of you people. They're afraid of that more than anything else. They're afraid. So I hope you can watch. During the 2020 riots, Kamala Harris urged her followers to donate to a fund to bail out violent rioters, arsonists, and looters out of jail. You remember in Minnesota, one of the criminals she helped bail out of jail went on to murder a man in St. Paul, shooting him 6 times in the head.
It's not being afraid of the badge, it's being afraid of the whole damn broken system. So some cop can sit there and murder people and attack people and do this and do that, and the damn DA and the damn judge and the clerks all go along with this stupid shit show parade as if some people are above the law and then other people just get fucked the fuck over for their ignorance, for their obedience, for their poverty. What the fuck? We're criminalizing poverty and ignorance